couple of benches for 2,300 plus. Can you explain what that might be?
Those are benches that will be going out at the new splash pad, and that was made possible by a grant from the Rotary Club. There will also be, I guess I'm calling it a static umbrella, so it's the hard plastic that will go with that as well.
Okay. Yeah, just from looking at it, couldn't figure out what it was, so I figured I'd ask.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Anyone else? All right, all those in favor of the consent agenda, say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Opposed, say no.
No?
Consent agenda is approved. Next, we have messages from the mayor, city council, and city manager. Let's start with the city manager.
I have nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Keith.
I do not have anything either.
Steve.
Only thing I wanted to say is, this talk about climate change and all this stuff, and what the city needs to do. I think that we have to, anything we look at has to have a cost-benefit analysis. If we're gonna replace windows and it saves, I'm all for conservation, if we're gonna replace windows and save energy, that's a great thing. But I can't see spending money just to have something that might possibly, in some people's minds, save the earth. And it costs a whole lot of taxpayer money. I can't see spending it just to feel good. Because that, to me, is what a lot of it is things you do that make people feel good. Now, if there's a cost-benefit analysis and you get some actual benefit from saving fuel in a building like windows or whatever, I think that's a great idea. That's all I had to say.
Thank you.
Nothing to note, sir.
Huh. Nothing? Scott?
I have nothing this week.
Dale? Nothing tonight. Holy cow. Yeah, scary.
Mayor, if there's any like backtracking,
Yes, there is.
Councilmember Sitting reminded me, we do have a revised memorandum of understanding with ABM Business Solutions. I think I mentioned that to council. They will come in at no cost to the city and do a complete energy analysis of all city facilities. Will, as a member of the North Muskegon Public Schools, actually went through the process with the same company. They gave a very...
Same guy, not the same company.
True, you're right, same guy.
Switched companies.
But
They did the school.
I think Will was very impressed, and I talked to Kurt Badcock, the superintendent down in North Muskegon, and he said it was a fantastic program, and they have realized significant cost savings. So that will be part of their analysis.
Good. I like that idea.
Do you have a timeline, Scott, on when he thinks he'll be able to make it up and do that?
Yeah, once we sign it, which I think I just got back yesterday or today, he thought that he could be up here, within a week or two, and the report would probably be done within a couple of weeks after that.
Okay.
So it's actually, it's pretty thorough, and it's not lengthy. Time-wise.
Right. A month is a pretty good turnaround for anything right now.
Yes, it is.
All right, that leaves me. I'd like to bring up this Arts Council letter request for sponsorship of one of the concerts this summer. I'd like to know. I certainly would support it as a good investment by the city. I'd like to know maybe how the council feels about the city doing that. How would that work, Scott? Is that something that council has to approve that?
Not this specifically. We do include it in our budget under city council, other. So it is in your budget. We've been doing this for quite a while. The way that we do it is Beth Beeman will sit down, take a look at their programs and see if something kind of matches up with something going on at the Playhouse as far as what we actually sponsored. And then we just cut them a check. Again, we've been doing it for quite a few years. For whatever reason this year, it was addressed to me and council members, so we obviously forward all communications with your names on it towards you, to you.
So this isn't something that we haven't already been doing anyhow?
No, we've been doing it probably at least the last 10 years.
Okay.
In the amount that they're asking for here for the sponsorship of the one concert, or about that much? Or
Yes, that's a portion of one concert.
Okay.
I think it calls for specifically to
The whole brand.
the old brand boys. And they do get grants. I spoke with Erin, the director, this afternoon about this. And, she was very hopeful that the city would once again agree to do that. I think it's a wonderful program they put on, and I actually committed my wife and I to sponsor one of the other bands, so I think it's a wonderful thing that goes on in our community all summer long. With that, unless there's any further comments by anybody wants to make, all right, we'll move to public comment. If you wish to speak, step forward, give your name and address.
Hi, my name is Lori Coleman, and I live in Montague. Why didn't I set that off?
Time's up.
That was short.
See what happens when you say Montague?
There you go. Well, I'm encouraged to hear that the city's going to be doing an energy audit, so that's really good news. I did want to ask a question that wasn't asked 2 weeks ago when we were discussing the climate plan. Several people that we know did write to the city, and I'm just curious to know how many of those individuals were supportive of the resolution amendment, or felt that they wanted the city to continue working and getting expertise to address the climate action plan.
Guess that would be,
In our packet this time, there's 1 for and 1 against. The letters that were.
But prior to the February 22nd meeting, I guess I'm asking, or going into that meeting.
It's not really an indication of percentages of people in the city.
If I recollect, there was quite a few that were pro. I'd say probably 50 to 60% were probably non-residents of the city of Whitehall.
And when you say pro, you mean they wanted to,
They wanted to see the resolution, yes.
right? No feeling for those who were against it?
What's that?
You said 50%?
No, for this past one, we had 1 for and 1 against.
Yeah.
I think we received 3 letters in support, 3 or 4, in support of moving forward.
And I don't remember which of them. Yeah, I was gonna say, they were placed on in front of the council before the meeting, so I can't remember how many were exactly. 3?
That would be helpful. That would be helpful to be added to the record or discussed, I think, in light of all of the people who showed up 2 weeks ago. So that was my only question.
I think when we have correspondence, it becomes a part of the record.
Depends
Or
on-
part of the packet.
It depends on when it's received, like those were coming right prior up to the meeting, so if it's not before the packet is distributed, then it gets placed in front of your, and then I hold on to those copies. So it doesn't get presented on the website as part of the packet because it doesn't get distributed with the packet. So
I
that makes
was
sense.
approached by someone that said that they'd submitted a letter that, and they said it wasn't acknowledged in the meeting minutes. And I did explain that the meeting minutes are not a transcript of what happens. They're an indication of decisions. But if a letter is sent to the city, it certainly goes on file. It's tossed aside.
If it gets addressed to city council and it wants to be part of the packet prior to the packet distribution, then it gets sent to you. If it's packet's already been distributed and you've already received it and it comes, to us and addressed to you, then it gets placed on your desk, for your arrival, if it isn't something.
Yes.
And I can certainly forward it to you too by email, but depends on when it arrives.
Thank you for that clarification. Is there any other public comment?
I wasn't gonna do this, but this takes me back to when we were voting on the snowmobiles and I was working the election and people from Whitehall Township tried to vote. I said, if you don't live in Whitehall, it's like, and I am all for the, climate, do what we can and stuff, but this is our tax dollars. Again, this is our tax dollars. And if your community is so good, then stay in your community. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone else for public comment? All right, we'll move on to old business. Is there any old business?
There is not, Your Honor.
All right. And brings us to new business, treasurer confirmation. Would you like to? Yes.
I was gonna make a motion. Ready for that motion?
Yes, I'm ready for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to confirm the appointment of Alyssa Cedar as the city treasurer.
Second.
Who seconded that? I heard a bunch of them, so I'm not sure who.
Doesn't matter.
Everybody, all right.
Okay, well, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Scott, would you give us just a kind of a update?
Yes, basically the city charter requires confirmation of the appointment of the city clerk and the city treasurer, which is interesting because it's a city treasurer / finance officer position. The charter does address a finance officer, but does not also require confirmation. So it's a procedural thing that we are asking council to go ahead and confirm Alyssa as the city treasurer. And maybe we won't have to do this for another 31 years. This is the last time we did the last one.
Can you give us just a brief history of Alyssa's career with the city?
Oh, man. Yeah. 7, 8 years now?
8.
It'll be 8 years. She came to us with a great variety of background in business management, as well as a degree in that area. She started out as the assistant finance officer / treasurer, which barely fits on her business card. She's done a phenomenal job in that position. During the transition, when Lori announced that she was going to be retired, obviously I sat down with Alyssa and chatted with her about her willingness to take the position, and she jumped right at it with both feet. And during the transition, she's doing a great job. I know with the budget, we are doing it internally a lot different than we have in years past. Part of that was whether or not Alyssa had enough time to learn how Lori did it. And I think one thing I told told Alyssa, I said, you know what, do it your way. It's going to be your budget for the next number of years. So she used Lori's as the basis and tweaked it into her own style. And I think the department heads have been very responsive to the new process. So she's done a phenomenal job for the city and for the last 8 years, and I expect at least another 10 out of her. I won't hold her to anything more than that. But we're very proud, and I'm very happy that she's accepted and moved up.
And she does a wonderful job planting flowers in the flower pots.
Yes, that has not been removed from her job description.
That's good, that's good.
And she also quite often does the entryway decorations. With her promotion, I've also moved Brooke Schiller up to the Assistant Finance Officer position. She was the administrative assistant. And again, Brooke excelled at what she was doing, definitely warranted and earned the promotion. We're currently going through interviews. We have an interview committee that interviewed 4 today. They've got 6 more.
tomorrow.
So there was a lot of interest. You might know that this is our second time around. The first person we offered it to lasted 4 days. For a number of reasons, she opted not to continue. So we went back and started it all over again. There is also the possibility, well, not the possibility, we have received notice from our DPW office coordinator, Julie Davis, that she has accepted a position, or will be, with another community. So maybe the timing is good. I know that when we hired Brooke and Julie, they were right on top of each other, and we're doing it again. So I don't know what that says, but typically we have extremely long longevity with the city of Whitehall. So we might be looking at those 10 applicants to also consider taking the DPW position. Because I think Brian and Beth and Lori and Brooke, not Lori, Brian, Beth, Brenda,
It's all
Brenda,
bees.
right here. Certainly have a lot more to do than be in a perpetual interview mode. So, again, not to take, just to give you the big picture, but I have no doubts that Alyssa will excel at her new position.
Well, I think we're very fortunate to have such talented people willing to serve our community, so very happy to see Alyssa move up into that position. All right, do we need a roll call on this?
Don't believe so.
All right, all those in favor of Alyssa's being appointed to the treasurer, city treasurer position, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Those opposed, say no. Yay. Congratulations, thank you very much. Next, we have one more public comment. Anyone wants to comment on anything? Nothing. All right, we're adjourned.